partly in our area. 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Low, 68. Chance of rain, 30%. Tuesday, cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High, 85. Tuesday night, skies clearing overnight. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low, 67. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Another wildfire. This is Monterey County, California. This is the so-called Tasahara fire that killed one person. It burned 1,200 acres since it started Saturday afternoon, and it's only 30% contained. This is one of 6 major wildfires burning in California right now, and that number is down in recent days, fortunately. Alex has more on how weather is impacting the fires and the firefighters. Alex?
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Again, we've got quite a bit of activity here in the western half of the country. Here it is, all the active wildfires, the ones that are greater than 100 acres. Totals 23. You can see the 6 there in California. Then you got a few that are shaking shape in Oregon, into Washington, you name it. And all total acreage impacted for 1.4 million acres. And look at the humidity values in these spots. Teens, 20s, and some 30s. Very dry conditions here. It's not until you get to the coast where you get a little bit of more moisture. That's helping things out a bit there. But through the interior, very, very dry. And that's why, in part, we've got red flag warnings here in parts of Wyoming, from Rock Springs to Casper down towards Cheyenne. Very dry conditions. Humidity values here 10 to 15%. And then you got winds gusting up to around 30 miles per hour. At least that's possible. So, again, that's not going to help with the fire situation here across Wyoming. Then the heat. This is now on the West Coast, right around the Bay Area. Heat advisories that are in effect for the inland areas of San Francisco and Monterey Bay. The temperatures out there are pretty all mild. San Francisco right now 80 degrees, but you head inland a bit more, you start to run into some 90s. Look at Livermore, 100 degrees. So start to get into some dangerous heat in these areas. Got to be careful as you head out during the afternoon hours, Dave.
Yes, September is a hot month in California. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Yeah.
Well, the cost of battling more than 24 major wildfires in the West is starting to add up, but the price tag goes much deeper than the surface. Earlier today, Chris Warren talked to our business weather expert, Paul Walsh, about the economic impacts to California and the rest of the country.
I think it's clear we're looking at more than $1 billion in insured losses. It seems like every day we're seeing hundreds more homes and properties that have been burned. This is going to have a direct impact, obviously, on the California economy. And then beyond that, there's a lot of related costs that don't get picked up in terms of the economy, in terms of property values being decreased. And you mentioned before in terms of the cost of firefighting. So it's just a really significant impact. And the really frightening thing is that we're not even halfway through the fire season, so we got a long way to go.
And so, Paul, you have insurance and property values. What will the consumer, what will people, will they see it or feel it, or is it just more something that's kind of on paper?
Well, Chris, California is the largest economy in the U.S., so when California catches a cold, the rest of us sneeze. It does reflect across the entire economy. We may not see it specifically in terms of prices at the grocery store, but it will have an impact, and it will ripple through the whole the economy of the U.S. because it's just such a big part of our country.
And, Paul, we know we're heading into an El Nino winter, and we do know that California in the past has been hit hard during some El Nino years. Is it fair to compare past El Ninos with what we could see here in the economic impact for California?
Yeah, for sure. And really the last big El Nino that we had that's comparable to what we're seeing now is 1997 and 98. And when that happened, again, we had well over $1 billion in terms of damage to properties as well as homes. And this, ironically, was the opposite of fires. This is caused by flooding. And so the expectation this year is that we may be looking at another situation where we've got heavy storms impacting the coast, heavy rain, which is, again, ironic for California, but making it worse, the fact that we'll be coming off a destructive fire season, so there may be more exposures. So we're really looking at a period of, enhanced risk for California for the next 6 to 9 months.
Oh. Gorilla Super Glue. Of course.
Gorilla Super Glue's rubber-toughened formula holds after repeated drops and bumps.
Oh, thanks.
Gorilla Super Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
It's more than a network in the cloud.